They're like young teenage girls learning about themselves and exploring their bodies.
Yeah.
I'm a 30-year-old man. This is weird. Hi, I'm Allan, and this is Popculture Pontification, the show in which we talk about things that we like all of the time.
All of the time.
All of the time.
All of the time. Not some of the time,
Not
but
some
all
of
of the time.
All of the time.
I'm back.
Tim is back again.
Hey.
Yes. I decided to be nice and bring him back because he cried a little bit. Small amount of tears.
Yeah, my dreams are coming true with each and every passing second that I'm on this podcast.
Also, the podcast that you were on last week was one of the most popular podcasts we've released.
Yeah. So you're breaking down those social normalities. You're having a black guy on.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Racial diversity.
Yeah,
that's
racial
it.
diversity.
You got, instead of like two painfully white guys, you got one white guy and one caramel guy.
Yeah, that's me. What would you say Russell is then?
Russell, I would say, is as white, if not whiter than I am.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Yeah. Because he's got a cushy office job, so he's got no tan whatsoever.
True. Is it, what month is it? What month? I know what month it is. It's the same month everywhere in the world. What season is it in America right now?
The opposite one to what we have right now.
So spring?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So he might come back with a tan.
He might do.
Oh,
yes, because he's in America. Yes.
Yeah.
He's probably listening. Yeah, Russell, how's it going?
I took your spot.
You did.
Yeah, bitch.
Although if we're keeping to the canon of last week's episode, he's dead and you ate him.
Yeah, that's still true.
Yes.
I'm holding him hostage in my body.
Which is in America, for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a creepy guy in a bondage suit watching over him.
Yes, because you watched Pulp Fiction.
Because I watched Pulp Fiction. Yeah, boy.
We'll talk about that later.
Alright.
So, I have a couple of things to talk about this week.
Ooh, how exciting. More snoring stories? More snoring stories?
No snoring stories.
Okay.
Not going to be a regular segment, unfortunately.
Dang.
But what I do have to talk about is that my favourite anime of all time. Do you know what it is? You reckon you could guess?
It's not Dragonball Z.
It's not Dragonball Z. I do consider Dragonball Z in my top 5.
In your top 5. Let's see if I can get at least some of your top 5, if not the one. Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop is up there, yes.
It's up there? Hey, you nailed it. I've never seen it. Or, it wouldn't be Digimon. Digimon would be in your top 5.
No.
One Punch Man?
One Punch Man is now up there, yeah.
Hey,
but it's not number 1.
Zoids?
No.
Alright, now I give up.
You give up?
I was going to start listing stuff then.
Just here for half an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Going through, like,
Code
Death
GS.
Note.
Fuck.
GS.
GS. Anyway.
Oh, Fully Cooley.
No.
Gurren Lagann?
Yeah.
Hey.
It is Gurren Lagann. Oh, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann is my favourite anime of all time.
Wow. Is it
Which
good?
you've never seen.
I've never seen it.
Which, it's great. It's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
I just said it's my favourite.
Yeah.
It's not one of my favourites. It is my favourite.
Favourite,
I've seen it like 4 or 5 times
Wow.
complete, which is like 26 episodes.
I didn't know you were such a fan of modern anime, because it's still pretty recent. Like,
It's about 5 or 6 years ago now, I'd say. Yeah.
but all the other animes that you enjoy are like 80s, 90s.
I suppose it's the ones I sort of grew up watching.
Yeah, exactly.
But no. And every now and then I'll be sitting around and someone will mention Gurren Lagann or somebody will bring it up or I'll see a picture of someone from it. I'm like, oh, it's been a while since I watched that. And I'll go watch it again. And that happened this week.
Oh, yeah.
So,
what triggered you to go and watch it?
Ross from Game Grumps posted a video about him Twitch streaming his him drawing art stuff. And he listed like a whole bunch of things and showed up pictures. And he was like, blah, blah, blah. Gurren Lagann. And I was like, well...
That's it.
Now I gotta go watch it.
It's like you're like hypnotized into whenever you see the word, it triggers you to watch it.
Yes,
yeah.
I am a sleeper agent.
That's the one. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, it's your trigger word. Oh, on that, Ross is from Perth, isn't he?
Ross is from Perth,
and he's coming to Supernova.
He is coming to Supernova, and he's doing another meetup.
Oh,
when he's over here. Yeah, I have considered asking him to be on an episode of Popculture Pontification, but I don't know if that'll fly.
Yeah, I don't know if he can get as many views on the podcast as I will. So,
that's true. Yeah,
he'd be competing with
white
me.
though, so
yeah, probably go down.
Not really racial. I'm not going to get the black vote.
Nah, absolutely not. You get the brown vote.
I get the brown vote.
Yeah, that's
the
the
brown
most important vote. Not the brown note.
Not the brown note.
So Gurren Lagann.
I went and watched that, and I've seen it so many times now that I can skip over. There's like boring episodes.
Yeah.
Are you even aware of the premise of the show?
Yoko.
Yoko is the
female, the busty female.
the visual candy.
There we go.
I was trying. There's a
was trying to
fan
think-
service. The fan service.
The fan service, yep. And there's a robot.
There's a big robot.
There's a big robot, and there's... No, I don't know anything about it.
Okay. Basically, humans have been forced to live underground.
Yep.
And the main guy and his bro, Kamina.
Yep.
The main guy isn't Kamina.
Oh.
The main guy is Simon, which is the little kid.
Okay.
And then his bro Kamina, always trying to get to the surface, not allowed on the surface, forbidden.
Yep.
All that sort of stuff.
The
and
drill
the first
thing makes more
episode,
sense.
big robot head sort of busts into the thing and
Yep.
blah blah blah, so on and so forth. Also, I discovered when I was telling the story the last week, I say that a lot.
Yeah,
I go,
you do.
blah blah blah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's very apparent in the
when
last
I was
one.
when I
last
was
episode.
editing the audio, I was like, oh fuck me.
Yeah, you say it a lot.
It's just a good way to like segment my
Yeah.
thoughts.
And you'll say da 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 a lot.
That's the one I
Yeah,
say a lot.
yeah.
I go da da da.
Da da da, yeah. Anyway.
You go up on the surface, and there's beast men who control the surface and kill any humans that come up onto the surface. And they are in these big giant robots that are basically a head with arms and legs.
Okay.
And they're all animal heads and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And it's all about the humans coming out of the ground and like sort of striving to, you know, take over the surface because they're not supposed to be there. But they're like, fuck you, fuck that, we're amazing.
Yep.
And then it's a great anime because they get this robot and they had this other little robot and the robots combine and turn into a bigger robot.
Yeah.
And then...
Like Power Rangers.
Sort of like Power Rangers, yeah. And then it just keeps escalating. Like, it's all about the power of the drill. Like a helix, you know. DNA cycling, getting bigger, stronger, more powerful.
Oh, that's pretty
And
deep.
then it just keeps getting bigger. And then they find another robot. And there's a bigger robot. And then so on and so forth. Until at the end of the series, and I'm probably not really spoiling anything here, they are in a robot that is literally the size of a galaxy.
Oh.
You know, in this sort
Alright.
of pocket universe sort of thing, where
Yeah.
physics are very
Different.
bent and warped. And
Okay.
they, you know, it's like, we're out of the ground, now we're fighting robots. Okay, there's like a capital ship of the Beastmen, now we're fighting that. And now we're at the city of the Beastmen, which is in itself a giant robot. Now we're fighting that. Now we're in space and we're fighting stuff.
Oh, shit. Alright.
You know.
I didn't realize it was that in depth. I thought it was just like your generic robot fighter anime.
No, it is.
Like
It's
really deep.
It's sort of deep, and the reason why I bring it up is that people die in it.
Okay.
You know, which I don't think is spoilers in regards to that. But it's all got me thinking about things that make me cry.
Oh, God. Alright.
So we're going down that
Let
avenue.
me pull up a couch.
No, because not in that. Because I don't really cry. Like, sometimes I think that I'm like sort of internally broken a little bit because my grandfather died, didn't cry when that happened.
Yeah.
You know, all that sort of stuff. A pet's dying gets me going, but that's an entirely different killer.
Your pets or someone else's pet?
Just my pets.
Oh, okay, cool.
But, and this is sort of like a well-kept secret from myself that I've decided to sort of air out here.
Yeah.
Self-sacrifice.
Oh, okay.
I will fall apart at self-sacrifice.
Interesting.
You know? So if I watch anything where someone's like, oh, I'm going to, you know, sacrifice myself to save someone else, or save the day, or save the world, or whatever, I'm just like, oh, come on, man.
So, Dragon Ball Z must have been an emotional...
But no, Dragon Ball Z doesn't do it, though. Because
It does it many times.
Yes, but there's no, like, it's not like they're gone forever.
Oh, yeah, death has no consequence.
Death has no consequence
in Dragon Ball Z.
in Dragon Ball Z. Because people die, then, this is wish
They're
them
back,
back, it's fine. Oh, now we can't wish them back because they've been wished back before, and the Dragon Balls can't grant the same wish twice for some reason.
Yeah.
It's never explained.
Yeah.
Okay, now you find other Dragon Balls and they can do that.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay, now those Dragon Balls are gone, but our Dragon Balls
Are better.
are broken because the people who made them are gone. But we'll remake them.
Yeah.
But now they can wish people back to life more than once.
Yeah.
So problem solved.
Yeah. Well, I think it's we'll get to Dragon Ball Z in a moment.
We will, yes. But yeah, it just so it made me think about that. And there's like a big moment in Gurren Lagann where people just start dying left and right.
Yeah.
It's right near the end of the series. And so I've just like skip episodes, you know. And I got to like the final 3, which is where all the fucking enormous stuff goes down and it's all very dramatic and all that sort of stuff. And there's just people die via self-sacrifice. And I'm in my apartment by myself, just crying like a baby.
That's so funny. See, I've known you for 7 years?
7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years. Maybe 6 or 7 years. You've never cried once in front of me.
Oh, no, never will.
Probably not. I hope you cry at my wedding. But
It's probably not going to happen.
well, it's a self-sacrifice. I'm sacrificing myself.
Sacrificing your single nature.
Yeah, for the benefit of mankind. But
Take
Kara
out of the dating pool.
Yeah,
Your lovely girlfriend.
yeah.
Fiance.
No, yeah, that's really interesting. That's what makes you cry.
I don't know why, though.
Yeah.
That's the curious thing about it. It's not like I've been around someone who sacrificed their life, so I've got some sort of emotional trauma in
It's
regards
just something
to that.
that gets you.
It's just like, oh, come on, Jesus.
Yeah, see, I can get that. See, what I was going to say about Dragon Ball Z, like, one of the scenes... Actually, it's two of the scenes from Dragon Ball Z that always makes me cry, no matter when I watch it. I could watch it right now, and I'll burst into tears.
Can I guess which ones it is?
Go for it.
I'm guessing Vegeta blowing himself up.
Absolutely, number one, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Especially him knocking young Trunks
Oh, I'm
unconscious.
going to get upset. It's just so perfect because, like... He knocks him out, he gives him to Piccolo flies away, and they've got, like, the split scene where Vegeta's, like, powering himself up, and Boo's like, I'll turn you into whatever, and he's just like, I'm gonna blow you away. And then Piccolo with Krillin, and Krillin's like, what's going on? And Piccolo's like, oh, he's sacrificing himself, he's doing something for others for the first time. And I'm just like... Vegeta.
Just like, come on, man.
Just don't do it. And he's like, I'm gonna crush you and blow you into the wind, and then he does the whole thing and he blows himself up, and then like the end credits. And
It's
the
like that
announcer.
the freeze frame where he turns around and he's like, emotion.
Yeah, he's like, I do this, I get goosebumps. He's like, Bulma, Vegeta, Bulma and Trunks, I do this for you and even for you, Kakarot, and he turns in the freeze frame and he like looks and you can
And
see
then
like
he
the
just,
tears and stuff. And then he
boom.
blows himself up. Like, I'm like covered in goosebumps now. Like, it's just the most
And
amazing
the
thing.
annoying thing is that it achieves nothing.
Yeah, I know. I was so disappointed at, like, because that was the end of the season, and then the next season starts, and, like, he got turned to stone for no reason. And they're just like, oh, he's stone now. And I was like, he should just be gone. Like,
He sort of crumbles.
he crumbles away, but I don't know why he got turned to stone. Like,
I'm
scientifically,
assuming it's
it makes no
because
sense.
he got sent to hell, I guess.
Man, maybe. I don't know. They never
It's
really
never
explain
really...
it.
There's a lot of Dragon Ball Z moments, and as an anime that I grew up watching and I love very much,
Yeah.
there's a lot of moments where you're just like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's just so soul-crushing when they're just like, oh, Vegeta's dead, Gohan's dead. Dead.
Quotation marks.
Because they don't know that he's alive. And,
That's right,
he's
he's turned to stone, isn't he?
No, Gohan gets teleported to the Supreme Kai world with the sword.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah,
No,
so they can't sense his energy.
I'm thinking of Dabura turning Piccolo to
Oh,
stone.
yeah,
That's what I'm thinking
that's
of.
right, yeah.
This is going to make no sense to a lot of people who haven't
It's
seen
Dragon Ball Z. We're not going to like the next segment. But, yeah, so self-sacrifice.
And I'm guessing
going somewhere with this.
the other one that gets you going is during the Cell Saga.
No,
Not when Cell blows through Trunks and then
Oh,
Vegeta goes crazy.
That's really sad, but that doesn't get me. It's when Vegeta gets killed the first time by Frieza.
Oh, okay.
when,
Where he's like just pierces him.
Yeah,
with
and he
the thing,
shoots
and
him
he's like,
anything.
and he cries.
Yeah, and he cries, and it's really sad because
And he's like Goku avenged. The
yeah, he's
Saiyans.
like he killed my father when I was a little boy and stuff like that, and he like cries. I'm just like, oh, Vegeta.
Now I don't really care much about Vegeta. Which,
That's sad.
Ron is gonna be upset.
Shout out to Ron.
Shout out to Ron. Who got? I was talking to Ron while she was listening to the podcast from last week. My friend Ron, and we gave her a shout out, and then she was just like, blah, 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 smarmy comments about what's going on in the podcast. And then she was just like, I got a shout out! She was very excited.
And now she gets two. That could be a
does,
recurring thing as a shout out to Ron. She can listen for it every week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Vegeta loves Ron, is what you were going with.
Yes.
Oh, was there any follow up to that?
No. I don't care much for Vegeta, which Ron and you are not going to be.
No, not at all.
I'm a Goku man.
Nah, he's useless.
He's stronger. Stronger.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
he's an idiot.
He wins every time.
He's an idiot. He's like John Cena of Dragon Ball Z.
You leave John Cena alone. I've decided that I like him.
I hate you.
But even I will willingly admit that Vegeta has far and above the most character development in Dragon Ball Z.
By far.
By far. Beyond even Piccolo.
Yeah.
Because Piccolo was just like, Dragon Ball is over. Dragon Ball Z has begun. I am no longer evil.
I don't know how we got here from Gurren Lagann. Oh, about you crying.
Yeah, crying. Yeah.
No, well, you're going to say more about Gurren Lagann.
No, basically that I watch it. It's great. You should watch it.
Okay.
And it makes me cry a lot.
Oh, okay. See, well, I was gonna, before I related Dragon Ball Z, relate it to Madoka Magica, which you refused to watch.
Yeah, I watched like one episode and it was boring, so I didn't
The
watch
first
it.
3 episodes are terrible, but it's the same sort of thing where
You
like
can't start off this 12 anime show, 12-episode show. The first third of it is awful, but power through.
Quarter. But no, I had to do the same thing. I was like, this is terrible. And the third episode happens and shit goes down, and then the rest of the show is great. And there's self-sacrifice. It's mental. So like I
don't know if I'm emotionally ready to deal with all that.
It's pretty upsetting. Like the last little bit. But if you cried recently, then I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't do Medica just yet. It's pretty sad. Even though they're tiny girls, but like the ideology behind it is quite deep. So
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, you should. Anyway, so I'm going to transition back to Dragonball Z because that's actually what I was going to talk about today.
Yes,
so I've been a good little pop culture fan, and I've caught up on all my Dragonball Z. And man, what a disappointment it's turning out to be.
Oh, for people
Dragon Ball Super.
Not aware, we're talk about Dragon Ball Super.
Yes.
The fairly poorly animated new series of Dragon Ball Z.
The fairly poorly animated / terrible plot. Where the fuck are they going with this blue hair Super Saiyan nonsense that is Dragon Ball Super? And I'm so disappointed because I am one of the biggest fans of Dragon Ball Z in the world.
That's correct, yes.
Much like Allan is. And they've released this new Dragon Ball Super anime, which hits a lot of right notes, and the rest of it's like not even there. It's poor substance.
I got fed up because, for those who aren't aware, the first 15, 16 episodes is based around the first 2 movies that came out.
Yep.
Battle of the Gods and Resurrection of F.
Yeah.
Is it Resurrection of F or
Just
Resurrection
F?
Okay, yeah.
No of.
Which are 2 feature-length movies that came out before the series even started getting released, I think.
Yes, that's correct. Which was one of my biggest problems with it, is the biggest cop-out for Dragon Ball Super, is that they don't tell you that it's just an elongated version of the movies.
That was a little frustrating. Although they do change it up, I guess.
Well, that's also what kind of redeemed it the same way. So the first 15 episodes are basically Battle of the Gods, which is an okay movie. Like, I didn't...
Much
not
better
like it.
animated than
than all the other movies.
All the other movies.
Yeah. But it was a nice little resurrection of it. And then they've got Resurrection F, to segue into that, which is actually the next part of the Dragon Ball Super anime, which is actually really good because it's not just a complete retelling of the movie. They actually go more into the like the side characters and development. The big fight that happens where Frieza lands, his minions come out, and he's got this little like Dodoria Zarbon, like pseudo pretend people.
Yeah, his generals.
Yeah. And in the movie, I believe, they fight and Gohan basically goes Super Saiyan briefly and pretty much kills everything.
He
or
goes
knocks
Super
everything
Saiyan
out.
very briefly, knocks a bunch of dudes out,
Yeah.
and then Frieza just
Wrecks
KOs him. Yeah.
Yeah. Which doesn't quite happen as fast in the anime. It's actually cut a couple of episodes, that actual arc. I don't know if you'd watched it. I'm guessing you
I
haven't.
never got that far.
Yeah. So what they end up doing is they do a lot of callbacks to the original series. So his like purple skinny general, whose name I forget for the moment, they talk about how he trained with Frieza, and because of that,
Frieza doesn't train.
But that was the whole thing, is that Frieza had to train to beat Goku.
Correct,
that was the whole like, oh, I'm back, but I have to actually train. But they just say, oh, Frieza trained and now he's better.
Yes.
But in the anime, they actually talk about how Frieza trained with this general guy, and the general got wicked strong, like stronger than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan from training with Frieza, and he gets like all cocky and really, really strong, and he's like a little mini villain in the anime, which is really cool. And take it a step further and do a callback to the original series where Captain Ginyu got turned into a frog. That frog turns up at the battlefield and swaps places with the general.
How? He got destroyed on Namek.
No, he got transported with the Dragon Balls when they transported all living beings.
Oh, no, that's true. Yeah, so he's on Earth.
Yeah, he was on Earth
Also, that was
the whole time.
10 years ago, and frogs don't live that long.
Well, apparently he does. So, it was Dragon Ball Z frogs, so they're weird looking.
That's
and it
true.
was a Namekian frog.
It was a Namekian frog, yes.
Yeah. So, we can't say that. But he shows up on the battlefield and changes places with this fucking general, so Captain Ginyu comes back. And Captain Ginyu's in it for a while, and it's great. And he does all the stupid poses, and Frieza's just, like, disappointed that he's there.
Why would he be disappointed? He loved Captain Ginyu.
He's like, oh, Ginyu's back, that's great. And then he starts dancing and stuff, and he's like, oh, yeah, Ginyu's back. Great. And he's so disappointed. But that turns out to be a whole arc of them dealing with Captain Ginyu again, and
He's stronger really than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, then current Gohan, flabby, useless Gohan would have had the shit kicked out.
Oh, he got absolutely wrecked pretty quickly.
And he was the strongest one there at that point.
Yep, absolutely. So, it's just... But a whole episode, and then to take the negative of it, the whole episode before that is Krillin being upset that he can't fight. He's like, oh, there's so many of them. I don't know how to feel because he's like a policeman now or something.
He is, yeah.
And he's like, oh, I don't know if I can
Good
do
on
this.
him, though, by the way. I mean, if you're one of those, if you're the strongest or second strongest, depends upon whether you consider Tien Shihan as a human or not.
Tien Shinhan.
What did I say?
Tien Shihan.
Close enough.
Okay.
As a human or not? Or
no, they state that Krillin's stronger than Tien, even if you don't include Tien as a human. And if you do, he's still stronger than Tien.
Okay. Well, that was always been a point of contention. As everybody's like, gives a shit to Krillin, he's the strongest human on the planet.
Yeah, well, In
general.
It's tricky. Like, I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, so Krillin comes back, and he's like fighting with everyone, and there's Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin...
Roshi was in the movie,
and maybe Yamcha, but I don't think Yamcha was there.
No.
Thank God.
And that weird little alien dude with his...
his name I can't remember.
He's like a space cop, basically.
Yeah, the space cop, whose name is going to bother me now if I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Jocko.
Okay.
Jocko is his name.
Who's the comic relief.
Yeah. So they're all there, and thank fuck Yamcha's not there, because I don't know how many more times I can wish him back with the Dragon Balls.
Even the dragon's like, again,
come
on.
Really, like, they have him on speed dial, basically.
I don't think he's died that many times.
I think he's died the most out of every Dragon Ball, out of any Dragon Ball Z character. He's died the most.
Possibly not, because possibly Krillin would have died more than him. If you take in Dragon Ball, where he died, he was the first one to die.
That is true, yeah. I'll have to look that up later.
Not
important right now. So they're having this fight, and Roshi is kicking ass, which is amazing in itself.
Because he's so weak.
Yeah, because he's just nothing. And then he's fighting them, and Krillin has this like whole episode dedicated to how he doesn't think he can fight these goons. And then Roshi turns around and at the end of the episode is like, you're stronger than all of them. These people are nothing. I'm fighting them. And Krillin's like, oh yeah. So he hits them, and he's fine. It's so bizarre. It's up there.
It just seems like a weird ending to it.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. It's up there with the 6th movie, I think it was, Metacooler, where they're fighting the robots and they can't beat them, and then Piccolo turns around and is like, oh, I know how to beat them. We just have to hit him really hard.
That was Vegeta, wasn't it? Only Vegeta and Goku were on the planet.
No, the Piccolo and stuff. They fought.
You're not talking about the Metacooler.
Not the Metacooler himself in the movie. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the robots that they fought, and then Piccolo's like, I know how to beat them. We just have to hit them really hard, and then they do that and they beat them.
Yeah,
that
always
stupid.
Felt a little weird to me.
They
were just like punching was like, my fucking hand.
Yeah, they're so strong. This metal's so tough. Why do I hit them harder?
But if we put our hips into it.
Yeah, if we get like a really good stride in it, we'll get him. So there's that, but now they're actually moved past the movies and they're into the new story, which
to my knowledge, is about a interdimensional
tournament.
Correct.
Yes. Like
which
an
is harkening
interuniversal.
back to the original Dragon Ball.
Correct. Kind of. Well,
there's tournaments was all that they were about, basically.
But it's really, really cool because they've got these different universes where they have very, very similar characters to the current universe, but they're in different roles. So from one universe, there's a guy whose name is...
Goku.
Chilled. No, not Chilled. Goku. Kogu. No, he is like the Frieza of that universe. I can't remember his name. It's like, it's Frost. Maybe it's Frost.
Something like that.
It doesn't matter. And he fights Goku, and he's like an exact rip-off of Frieza, but he's a good guy. So he's like the hero of that universe, and he goes around saving people.
Yeah, it's a flipped universe, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And
he's like, you look exactly like this monkey I fought. He's such a bad guy.
Yeah. So they're fighting, and he's like in his base form, like Frieza-based form. And Goku's like, you look really familiar. There's this guy called Frieza, and he's like, that sounds familiar. And he's like, I fought this guy. He was really bad, and you don't seem that bad. Like, I don't sense negative energy from you and all this other stuff. And they fight, and Goku gets the upper hand, and then he's like, I know that you're hiding your true power. Power up for
me. Standard Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. Dragon Ball nonsense.
And because this character is such a noble good guy, he's like, I don't want to use my full strength against him. So he transforms into the 3rd stage, which is his like alien ripoff ugly thing. And Goku's like, that's not your final form. You stop fucking with
Come on.
And the guy's like, nah, it really is. This is the strongest I can go. And like at Fake Me, it's like, maybe this guy is pretty shit because he can't power up any further. And then Goku's like, well, I'm going to have to go serious. So he turns into a Super Saiyan, and the guy's like, oh shit, and then transforms into his final form. Which
like when you say Super Saiyan, do you mean Super Saiyan God, Blue, or just Super Saiyan?
I think it's just like the base form because there's no color in the manga, so I don't know.
Oh, this is not anime.
No, they're not up to this. Yeah. Now I'm kind of transitioning into the manga. But they're only like not that far ahead.
I'm sure he can still transform. It's a separate transformation.
Yeah, it's like different branches.
Of the fucking 8 branches
Oh,
there
it's
are
fucking
of
stupid.
transformations.
There's so many now.
It's like legendary, normal, god,
level 2, level 3.
level 2 fake.
Yeah, level 2 fake, Super Saiyan fake, Super Saiyan. Yeah, there's just so many. It's like 15 different variants, or maybe 10. Anyway, and then the next manga is going to be Goku fighting this final form Frieza. Well, that's not Frieza, but it's really cool because, and then there's another character that's the Saiyans from another universe, but they're like the biggest bunch of bitches. He's like fucking like 2 feet tall, and he's got like a tiny tail, but it's like a cat's tail, and he just looks like.
So it's basically they just went online and found some fan fiction.
Basically, which leads me to my next point, is that this arc is a direct rip-off. I say rip-off, it's not actually a rip-off, but it's directly similar to Dragon Ball Multiverse, which is a fan-made
I actually
manga.
saw that on Reddit, because I'm
Really?
obviously on Reddit, and there is a Dragon Ball Z subreddit, and I'm on there, and somebody's like, oh, look at this manga, blah, 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 and I was like, oh, I'll have a look at that. I'm on my phone, so I read like 2 pages.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, okay, whatever. And it was all about Gohan and stuff like that.
Yeah, so basically the whole premise behind... premise, rather.
Yeah, you and Russell say premise, and it shits me, because it's premise.
Well, it's the Russell inside of me. Bills came up a little bit.
He's coming out.
He's coming out. Yeah, so the whole premise behind Dragon Ball Multiverse is that something happens and they need the Dragon Balls from other universes, or I can't remember like the reason why they're there, but they're at a tournament and all these different universes are there, and they're all characters from the original universe, but different things have happened. So there's a universe where Goku never...
So altered history.
Altered history, exactly. So yeah, there's a thing where Frieza kills Goku on Namek, and Frieza becomes the strongest in the universe, and he's like a tyrant. There's another universe where Krillin kills Raditz when he comes there, through whatever means, and then it becomes the strongest human on the planet and like kills Frieza and stuff, and Cell and all these other things. They go into it. I can't remember. It's so many pages.
Krillin kills Raditz. I mean, technically possible if he caught him by surprise with a Constructo disc.
Yeah, something
or
like
whatever
that.
the Japanese name of that is.
Kienzan.
And then and then just what?
And then
he just becomes the strongest.
He
human
like
in the
looks like
universe.
Master Roshi because he's like really old at this point. But he's like, and Tien and Yamcha is his disciples, and they're really strong as well. But he just becomes ridiculously strong, and I can't remember how, but he's like the strongest in that universe. And all these different characters, and it's so cool because you get to see like Frieza's 5th form if it was like in the
manga.
Yeah, and
the fan manga.
Yep, and King Cold going to his final form and all this other stuff. So it's really, really interesting, but it's like a direct rip-off of what the current anime is, so I can't help but think maybe they've been like, looks like, really good. This 1200
Akira Toriyama
pages.
was like, maybe.
Maybe, just maybe, the work's already done for us, and we just need to do it better. So, but yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with this, and I'm still keeping up to date with the manga.
Highs and lows.
Yeah, highs and lows, but they're releasing the manga every month. Every month.
Is that not standard?
No, it should be weekly. Like when I used to read manga, like Naruto and stuff, used to come out every week.
Yeah,
so,
but there was like a whole team doing that back in those days.
Yeah, I guess, but you think
and
they'd
it's
have...
still just Akira Toriyama? I think he's got assistants, but...
I don't know, but it's fucking Dragon Ball Z. Surely they've got money to flash some cash and make some slides come together.
Akira Toriyama's like fucking 85 by now.
Yeah, probably. Maybe he's the strongest human in the world.
Maybe.
Anyway, that's my pop culture for the week.
The well is dry.
Yeah. Well, no, I've got one more thing, but you've got something to talk about as well.
Well, I actually went and saw a new movie with my girlfriend, Layla, who's a lovely person.
Cheers.
We went and watched Zootopia when it came out.
Oh, interesting.
And it's really good.
Really?
It is. It's very good.
I didn't expect you to enjoy it.
No. Well, dirty secret of the podcast is that my favorite animated movie series is Kung Fu Panda.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Allan.
Which has been mentioned on the podcast before. I don't know. I just find it very amusing and very well animated, and it's kung fu, so fucking badass.
I haven't seen it.
You have not seen it?
Maybe that could be my force review. Because I'll actually watch it.
Anyway, Kung Fu Panda, which has shat me off, by the way, because Kung Fu Panda 3 has been out in America for like 2 months.
Wow.
And you know when it's coming out here?
When?
The 24th of March.
Oh my god. So that's next week.
Yeah, I
so
know,
Thursday.
but still, this is fuck. Come on.
It's a bit shit.
And been very tempted to illegally watch it, but anyway. Zootopia. Wonderfully animated, by the way, from the fine folks at Disney.
Yep.
And it is just... It's basically a mystery movie. Like the old... I'm tempted to mention, like, old gumshoe movies, film noir, that you're just not going to get. Like the Maltese Falcon and all this sort of stuff.
It's like chocolate and a bird.
Yeah. that delicious chocolate bird.
That's what it says to me.
It's
Maltese Falcon.
It's like a cop detective movie, basically.
Okay.
The little rabbit is a cop, and there's like this whole conspiracy thing going on.
Okay.
Mystery. You got 24 hours to solve this case, or you're off the force.
Oh, okay.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. But with animals.
But with animals instead of people. And the plot is a little bit hackneyed, because it is obviously it's a kids movie. Yeah. But it is entertaining enough that you can watch it as an adult and not feel too guilty about watching a kids movie.
I don't know if guilty is the right word.
Well, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, alright.
But we sat down and we watched it first day it came out, which was on Thursday. Which I don't know if that was a worldwide thing, but the first day to the public on Thursday. Yeah. It was about 10:30 in the morning, 10 o'clock, I think.
Okay.
And sat down and watched it. It was like 3 other people in the cinema because it was a Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday morning. And I'm like, sit down. There's like 4 people, dead quiet. And then as like we're waiting for the movie starts, out in the back, in the corridor out the back, I hear the sound of about 5 to 10 children.
Oh.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, oh no. And then my girlfriend is like, what? I'm like, just
yeah.
Wait and watch. And then like 5 mums come in with about 10 kids.
Oh my god.
And they're like, guys, I was like, we're gonna have to leave. We're gonna have to leave.
We'll burn the cinema down.
And she was like, just wait until the movie starts, they'll quieten down. I'm like, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this.
Oh jeez.
But to their credit, they were actually very good throughout the movie.
Huh.
And only like twice did people get up and leave because obviously the kids had to pee or something.
Yeah, kids have weak bladders.
Yes. Also, they're children.
Yeah, that too.
It's like they're incontinent.
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, on that, when I went and saw Deadpool on the day it came out, full cinema, you pulled a face like you went and saw.
It's like children are in watching Deadpool?
Yes.
No.
That's my story. Is that people brought their kids.
That's so inappropriate.
And not like 10-year-olds. No, toddlers and infants. That's
nonsense.
No, I'm dead serious. Like
I'm saying it's nonsense that they did that.
Oh right, yeah. People in the cinema were just like horrified when this lady walked in with a pram.
There was like a whole social campaign.
Yeah,
online saying don't bring your kids to this. I know it's a superhero movie. It's rated R.
Yeah, exactly. And like you could see people in the cinema were getting uncomfortable with the fact that she brought her kid in, and mothers can do what the fuck they want. I don't care what they do. Don't bring your small child to an R-rated movie where people are getting shot, people are getting fucked.
You see a guy jacking off with a unicorn up against his face.
Yeah, exactly. Like all this shit happens in this movie, and obviously people don't know what's going into it. But it's an R-rated movie. You don't bring your kids, and the people at the movie theaters shouldn't let them in. I don't think. They should enforce the
people who checking the tickets would be like, you're going to take that and put it in the car or something.
Yeah. You got a babysitter for that outside. We have a creche or something. Like,
there was not only a whole social media campaign with images from Deadpool.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds, I should say. Yeah. Saying like, oh, don't bring your kids to this. It's fucking... He released like a video.
Yeah.
Going like, hey, I know it's a superhero movie. Take him to go see X-Men or something.
Yeah. He'll break the fourth wall, do his Deadpool thing, but then dumb parents are like, oh, Deadpool's so funny. I take my kids.
It is a very funny movie.
It's a very funny movie.
But you also see Shaft. You see Ryan Reynolds' dick.
Do you?
You do.
Oh, yeah, you do.
A protracted shot of his cock.
Yeah. That's such a good movie.
It is a very good movie.
But Zootopia, though.
Zootopia. Well animated, very funny.
Yeah.
And had a lot of good moments. Worth a watch, I'd say. Right. I'm not going to go any further in.
Yeah, it just came out. You don't want to spoil it.
Did just come out, yeah.
Ron might be wanting to see it.
Ron might be wanting to see it,
You don't want to do that.
I do feel like we should just call our audience Ron.
Yeah.
That could be, like, I have been searching for a name for our audience. Just call him Ron.
Yeah, yeah. The only other name I can think of is Poplars, and I feel like that would copyright on Futurama.
I tried to call them, I tried to put forth Pop-Ons.
Pop-Ons.
Because they can just pop on and listen.
Oh my god.
And that was the exact reaction that I got out of Russell when I mentioned it.
That's not happening. But can I outvote him because he's not here? You come back and be like, hi,
it's like,
Pop-Ons.
It's all not canon. It's not part of the canon.
This is the Popculture Pontification movie arc.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So nothing's canon. I don't actually exist.
That's true. You're a fan creation.
I'm a fan creation, that's it. Frieza doesn't have a brother. Yeah, well, what else is there to talk about?
What else you got? You said you had something else?
I do have something else. The only other thing I've done this week is play Diablo 3. Which... Haven't played the first one. Haven't played the second one. Played the third one.
Second one's great, by the way.
Yeah, I keep hearing that, but I don't know if I can go back and play it.
From your girlfriend, because she's obsessed with that game.
She is, yeah.
Fiance. I'm going to take me a while to get out of that.
I do it every day. But no, Diablo 3, I played it when it came out because I got forced to, and it was one of those situations that happens to me pretty much every day of my life.
Can I elaborate?
Yeah.
Which is you going, what's this new thing? I don't like new things. I'm going to make fun of it and not take it seriously. And then 3 hours in, you're like, man, I really enjoy this, but I've really fucked myself over.
Man, I wish I hadn't built on desert.
Is a reference to the first time that you played Catan, Settlers of Catan, I should say.
Yeah, it was bad.
And you were just like, I'm going to build in the worst position possible. 10 minutes in, I'm having fun, but I fucked myself.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything. Everyone's picking up resources. I'm just sitting here like an idiot.
Which you always do.
I always do, every single game. I'm trying to get better, but Diablo 3...
It's like a self-defense mechanism.
Yeah.
To be like, if I suck at this or I don't have fun, it's because I decided to suck at this and not have fun.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been playing through Diablo 3, and I played it through the original time because I was forced to play it because, once again, I hate trying new things, and Kara was like...
Like the time that you had a panic attack when somebody tried to make you eat a hamburger.
Yeah, that was also Kara. She's a lovely lady. She's brought out the best of me, but anyway, not important. Yeah, so she forced me to play, and I did the usual thing, which is like, I don't want to play this is dumb. And I played the demo online, and I got up to like the end of the skeleton.
The
Skeleton King. But I didn't get to the No, it is the Skeleton King you get up to. And it was like one of the best games I've ever played, and I hated myself for it. So I played it. I played through the original run. Then Reapers of Soul came out. You guys say something?
The expansion,
The expansion, and played through that. Haven't touched it for 3 years or whenever it came out.
How long it came out, yeah.
And then got back into recently because Kara was like, "Oh, it's the season's out." And I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
It's like the social thing. Like, go and play Seasons and get unique items.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, "Why would we play through the game again? Like, it doesn't make sense." And it's been like the best playthrough of my life. It's so much fun. Because they've added, like... I don't even think they've changed that much of it. It's just fun to
level
play
up a lot faster.
Yeah, which makes the game so much more interesting. And then we ended up playing with a friend of ours, Nick. Shout out to Nick, wherever you may be. And he's just, like, crazy
I abstain from shouting out to Nick.
Okay. He's crazy into Diablo. He's very good at it.
He is fucking obsessed.
Yeah, like, he has... Like, when you get to level 70, you get Paragon levels, which is like additional levels on top of your level.
Basically make the enemies harder.
Yeah, essentially. We've been playing for quite a while, and I've got like 50 Paragon levels, so I'm like level 120. Nick has over 800 Paragon levels, so that's a lot of hours.
Go up that high.
Exactly, like, it takes a long time to level those Paragons, so it's like amazing. So he jumped into a game with us, and I felt like, because he's such a higher level than us, he was just rinsing through enemies that we were struggling to kill.
Is he still with his wizard?
Yeah, he was with the wizard when we played through.
It's the same wizard from like fucking launch day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's seasonal, so it's a new character, but he does 1 million damage per second. We do 200,000, so like the difference is quite staggering. So I felt like a poor orphan boy running around, like picking up gold from the ground, like scraps.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, like he's like, I'm going in this direction. Oh, there's a boss over here. Okay, the boss is dead, and I'm just like with my collection plate scooping up all this gold and all these items. Like, oh, please, master,
finally,
slow down.
I shall fix my rickety legs.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we're going to eat well tonight, and then going running around after him, checking out like an idiot, just trying to pick up items. And
he's like, I'm moving on to the next area. No, I haven't picked up all the
gold yet. Like, that actually happened. Like, he found like this rare drop, and all this stuff happened. Like, I would have said 150 items, and about 30 legendary items dropped, which is like a really big thing. And I wanted to get all of them, and he's like, no, don't bother with them, we'll get better stuff. And I was like, but I need to pick up things. So he went and cleared the entire map, which would have taken Kara and I over an hour to do. He cleared it in about 10 minutes. If that. And I was still trying to pick up items, go back to town, sell those items, come back and get more items.
Your inventory kept getting full.
Yeah, it kept getting full because I couldn't pick up the items fast enough. And it's still so much fun just to run around and do that. And we played together recently.
You and I played together. And our lovely girlfriends.
And our lovely girlfriend partners. And then we stopped.
Well, we stopped because of scheduling. Basically.
Yeah, scheduling issues. Yes. Yeah, I blame the podcast and Russell personally.
Russell is the main protagonist.
Yeah.
Who got really upset when we found out that we were playing Diablo 3 without him.
Yeah, he did. And then he was like, the four of you are playing Diablo. I was like, it's a 4-person game. You can't play with us. Like,
and he was like, oh, that's alright, whatever.
Yeah.
That classic thing where he's like, oh, every list has to have someone on the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. It's the story of Russell's life. Shout out to Russell. But no, yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we should play again. Is what I'm saying. And people should play Diablo.
You're very busy these days.
I am a very busy person, but I always have time at nights. I always leave time at nights to play games, so we should play.
The only other thing I've got to talk about, other than the hilarity of you running around like a pauper behind a wealthy fat man with a hole in his vest.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is what, like, Layla, my lovely girlfriend, plays Diablo 3.
Yeah.
She played with us, but she also made her own character and went.
Yeah, she was on the other day and didn't play with us.
Well, she just like she obviously, the one thing I find frustrating about playing in a group with a game that I haven't played through all the way is that everybody else is just like, oh, plot, fuck off. Whereas you're like, I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
So she decided to go off and play her own thing. And I was watching her play when I was over at her house the other night.
Yeah.
And she's like level 30, 40 at this point. And she's like picking up grey items. I'm like, why are you picking up green or above at this point?
Yeah.
Ignore everything else.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, but my money, they're worth money. And I was like, nothing, they're worth nothing.
They're worth literally nothing.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I checked out her character as well, and it just makes my heart weep because she's got like all these slots for for gems, and there's nothing in them.
I made her put this when I was over there the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, you have sockets.
Yeah.
You have gems. You have square gems. Shove them in there.
Yeah.
She's like, but then I won't have them anymore. I was like, but you'll find better ones.
Yeah, that's what you have them for. Just take them out from the jeweler.
And she was like, I can't find the jeweler because she was in like the desert area where there's like no jeweler.
Yeah.
And I was like, but you'll not be here forever.
Yeah,
you will leave.
Move on. Yeah,
move on, and you'll do other stuff. She's like, and she's obsessive in that way.
Yeah,
like I've never introduced her to Borderlands.
Yeah,
because
that'd be a disaster.
That'd be a disaster because you shoot someone and drop a gun.
Yeah. That's why I couldn't play through that much of Borderlands, because I just got full of guns and I didn't know what I wanted.
I was just like, she has to pick up everything.
Yeah.
And she has to take it all back, and she has to organize it, and then she has to sell it.
Yeah.
And every now and then, if she gets like flustered, she'll have like a messy inventory, and then she'll spend like 50 minutes organizing her inventory.
Yeah.
I was like, you can't do that. And she was like, but I'll lose all this money. I was like, but if you leave all this shit behind and move on, you'll pick up better items at the same rate as going back and forth between here and there, just leave behind. But it's very difficult for the poor thing.
Yeah.
The only other thing I have to talk about is that I have been pretty busy with work and podcasts and all that sort of stuff. And I like to develop hobbies and skills as time goes by. I'm not very good at it. I get bored very quickly. Like I can juggle a little bit because I was like, I want to learn how to juggle. So I learned how to juggle a little bit. That's why I've got juggling balls over there. And what can I do? What's like a new thing that I can learn or want to do for whatever reason? And a lot of our friends do cosplay and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And
you're not getting into cosplay.
I'm not getting into cosplay. I have cosplayed in the past and stuff, so we can't be too smarmy about it.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like I was for a while there. I was like, I'll learn how to cross stitch. So then I learned how to cross stitch.
I remember you going through that phase.
Yes, it's very tedious.
Yeah.
But I made a cross stitch for our friend Melissa.
Oh yeah.
In which it was her birthday, it was coming up, and I made a thing. I was like, what can I cross stitch for the first thing? So I cross stitched Bitches Ain't Shit.
That's right.
And I put that in a frame and I gave it to her. She was like, oh, it's the best thing ever. So I was like, okay, now I'm done with cross stitching because now I've mastered it.
Yeah. You've gotten to the level where you can give it away as a gift, and now you have no use for it.
And now I have no use for that skill anymore. But I still have the stuff floating around.
Yeah.
And so I was like, a lot of our friends are cosplayers, and I listened to the Adam Savage Project, which is a podcast, like a 15, 20-minute podcast that he releases every week. And he talks about stuff, like in relation to making things and da-da-da. It was fascinating for me.
Yeah.
Did the da-da-da.
Yeah, you did.
See, I'm picking it up on myself now. You just have to get used to it. And so he was like going on about cosplay and stuff, because he cosplays for like Comic-Con and stuff. He quite frequently he's this whole thing where he like creates the cosplays or buys or gets them made for him in secret. And then he'll wander around the convention floor in a full body cosplay.
Yeah, so no one knows who he is.
So nobody knows who he is. But he like releases hints. It's like, oh, I'm wearing black or something. And then people like try to find him in the first one. He finds him, they get a present or a prize from like Mythbusters or him himself.
Yeah.
And it's a whole thing. And he'll like do an elaborate cosplay for like the first day.
Yeah.
But on the second day, he'll do like a simple one, but his face is still covered, so nobody knows it. Like he'll
do Spider-Man or something.
He'll do a Spider-Man or something like that. Plump, middle-aged Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But he talks about like vacuum sealing.
Yeah.
Which is the effect of having a shape in a container in which you heat a plastic sheet above it, and then you like vacuum it down, create a vacuum and it seals. You know what I'm talking about.
I know how to do that.
Yes. And I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. Maybe I could start vacuum sealing. And I would have no use for the things that I vacuum seal. So all of our friends who are cosplayers, I could be like, oh, I got a thing, you come with that, and then it'd be an interesting thing. But I'm in a very small place here, so it's not really conductive to that. Like, if I ever move to a larger place, I'd probably look into getting into that.
Yeah.
Because I like making things, but I don't like keeping them.
Huh.
Which is very confusing to most people.
Yeah.
Because I like the act of creating stuff, but then after I make it, I'm like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I've made it. Is next thing.
Which is why I have all of your Zoids.
Yes.
And also why I built all of them for you.
That was just fucking frustrating. Ex of mine bought a masterclass, is it?
Masterpiece.
Masterpiece Zoid, the Command Wolf, for those curious. And I started making it, and I was like, everything's in Japanese. And it's like, instead of just clicking it together, for those who've never made these sort of models before, we're like, here's the core of the Zoid. Now you need to build the little container around the core of the Zoid, which makes it a Zoid. And then you have to build the chassis around that, then you have to build the legs onto that, and you have to build the armor onto that, and you have to build the weapons onto that. And I'm like, I'm done. I like put 3 hours into it, and I had barely a cube of a torso. So I was like, there you go, Tim, you can make that. And you made it. And I kept it for quite a while.
Yeah,
but when I moved here, every time I move, I like to declutter.
Yeah.
You know, I get rid of so much stuff when I move. And so I was like, here you go, I'm moving. You don't have this Zoid. Probably for the specific purpose that you knew I'd eventually give it to you.
Yeah. I stake claim to it because we have that thing when someone dies in our friendship circle, we kind of claim their stuff, and I just feel like it only relates to you, me, and Nathan Rocco.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's another friend of ours who
Shout
has an enormous collection of far too much stuff.
He has a lot of stuff.
He has a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff that we'd want.
But it makes him happy, and that's fine.
That's the important thing.
But I don't like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I had a phase where I collected statues and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't have the space for it here, so they're all in my wardrobe, which takes up like 50% of my wardrobe. So
you should give those to me.
I'm not gonna. They're very expensive.
Yeah. Damn.
But like I said, I like making things, but I don't like the clutter of having them around after I've made them.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm quite happy to make things and then give them away, because then other people get joy out of it. I get like the happiness of making someone happy, and I get, it's the satisfaction of making something and making someone happy.
Okay.
So I was like, what can I do? And I was considering vacuum sealing, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Learning how to cast in latex and all that sort of stuff, which is also a very handy skill to have. And I find all that stuff sort of super interesting.
Yeah.
Or like learning how to paint, airbrush paint, like figurines and stuff like that. And I was like, that's a lot of clutter. Nobody's going to want figurines, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
You've listed 3 things that I actually know how to do. I don't know how to watch movies, but I know how to airbrush things, I know how to vacuum seal things, I know how to cast things with latex and piggy seal and things like that. So.
And so I was like, what can I do? I was all very indecisive. And so our friend of ours, close friend of ours, Kerry, is creating and he is linking it back into the previous thing, creating a cosplay from Diablo 3.
Yep, the Crusader.
The Crusader, yes.
Shout out to Kerry.
Shout out to Kerry. Very good friend of ours, known her for many years. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, hilariously busy at the moment, so I can't get her onto the podcast. Yeah. But eventually, that's the plan. We'll get her on.
Yeah, she's a much better guest than me.
Much more energetic and nicer to look at.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You have a beard, though. She ain't got a beard.
No, not yet, though.
Not yet.
No.
Who knows what the future may hold.
Yeah.
She's probably cosplayed somebody with a beard.
I was going to say the LARP thing. Orcs have beards.
Orcs have beards.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's a big LARPer. It's all very interesting topics I'd love to talk to her about. And she, in the Crusader, made some chainmail as a part of her costume. Okay. So I was like, chainmail, that's interesting. That's always interested me. So I went online and I was like, how to make chainmail. And the process is just rather lengthy. It's not overtly complicated. So I was like, okay, that's like got a low jump in point, So I was like, how to make chainmail, which is relatively easy. You just get a wire and something hard to wrap it around, and you wrap it up and then you cut it open. Yep. I was like, that's way too time consuming. I'm going to get bored before I finish doing that. So I was like, how much is it to buy the rings online?
Yeah.
And there's a place in Australia that sells them called Chainmail or something like that.
Appropriate.
And I was like, what's like the cheapest ring? Steel rings, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, and for like a pack of 450 rings,
Yeah.
it was like $5-6.
Oh, that's really cheap.
And I was like, sweet, 5 of those, please. So I bought like $40 worth of chainmail.
Yeah. And
it is going to be coming next week.
Ooh,
because it's in Australia. So it's like you can pay $12 and it'll be there in 3 to 4 business days.
Yeah.
Or you can pay $13.50 and it'll be there in 1 to 2 business days. So being the cheap ass that I am, I chose the 3 and 4 business days.
Of course you did.
So, but that's going to be like my next thing. Next thing I'm going to learn
exciting.
how to do. I'm going to like make something out of chainmail. I have no idea what yet, but I'm going to make something.
Probably chainmail.
Chainmail something. Like I don't know what form it's going to take.
Oh, I'm with you.
It's like I'm going to make something. I don't know what to do. Chainmail, you just said you bought the rings.
You're going to make chainmail out of rings.
Out of rings.
Yeah. Chainmail like gauntlet or chainmail chess piece.
Chess piece? You mean a shirt? Chainmail shirt?
Yeah, that's what you want to call it. That seems like a big thing to go for straight
A whole
away.
shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, maybe make like a wristband or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We'll see how we go. See whether I get frustrated or not.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
That's exciting.
So that's going to be my next thing.
Cool.
Yeah. I'd ask you what your next thing you're going to learn how to do is. You haven't got time for a hobby at this point.
I barely have time for the podcast.
Yes, it's true. But yeah, so that's what's up with me. That's like, I'm finally falling into that guy who makes chainmail stuff.
Yeah. Well, you've done the cross-stitching thing, so
I've done
chainmail is
cross-stitching,
just
so
the
it's a
next
step up.
transition. See, yeah. See, I did all these crafty things at uni. Like, I learned how to cast resin and and do all these things and make glass.
I'm surprised you never made any Dragon Balls out of resin.
Yeah, I didn't really go to class. So, it made it pretty hard. And they also weren't very appreciative of my love of pop culture. So
you made that cool Bioshock symbol glass
Yeah,
thing,
I did.
And they were like, what's this nonsense?
Yeah, it's like, why did you make something... I was giving my speech for my presentation, and I was like, I made this...
This is in university.
At university, third year, final year of university, in my glass 301 glass design class, whatever it was called.
Part of you getting your degree in interior design, I believe.
Interior spatial design and graphic design, yes. And...
Only man in the class.
No, there's 3 guys. They were all friends. But yeah, we were doing the speech.
You were presenting, yes.
Yeah, we were presenting the thing, and I was having Bioshock lamp, and I said I made this Bioshock lamp. It's from this game. Did like a proper presentation. These are the techniques I use: slumping and cutting out shapes and blah blah blah.
Did you make just like a light box or something?
Yeah, it was basically a light box. I didn't actually make the light box part of it. A friend of mine in the same class made it for me because I didn't want to like hammer stuff because I don't like using hammers. So I made this thing. I explained what it was from and how I made it, and then the head. It wasn't just my lecturer because the lecturer was there, but it was the head of the school as well. So like the head of the entire design thing. So it's
I was going to say not the entire school.
No,
that guy's probably too busy to come do that.
Probably, yeah. So it was the head of like arts and communication or whatever it's called, creative industries, and so he was like, "Oh, why did you decide to make a Bioshock lamp?" Oh, I didn't say Bioshock. So why did you decide to make a lamp from a video game? Why didn't you try to do something original? And I was like, because I looked like dead in the eyes, sorry, and said, it's because I like Bioshock. And the lecturer, who was like really nice to me, he was a really nice guy, just put his head in his hands. He's like, "Oh, Tim," and just buried his head in his hands. And obviously, because maybe his job was on the line or something. And I was like, I wanted a lamp for my bedside table.
They were like so close to firing him.
Yeah.
And then like after
let's see the results of this one student.
4 failed projects came through. And he's like, I swear to God, this next one does not impress me.
Yeah.
And
we're shutting the whole thing down.
Shutting the whole thing down. You're fired. You're out your ass.
Yeah.
And your lecturer looks down and is like, okay, fine. Who's up next? Tim. Fuck.
Yeah. He starts packing up his papers.
Well, I'm done. I'm done. I'm out.
He didn't even make it to my project. But no, yeah, that was really funny, and I got a 50% for that class, so I passed on like the skin of my teeth. So.
Okay. Well. That is about all I have to talk about. So the only thing we have to do is bust on forwards to your forced review.
Yay!
Forced review is traditionally in a segment in which one of us forces the other one to watch something they have not. Up to this point, with Russell away, it has just been me forcing Tim to watch things because he has a horrible cinematic bibliography.
Bibliography?
probably a better way to say that.
Profile?
Profile? Yeah, that's probably better.
Yeah. that's much better than bibliography.
I feel that both work.
Sure.
And last week I made you watch Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
Cinema classic from...
1984.
No, I don't know when. You've done some research, so probably.
I'm going to find out. But keep going.
No. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino. So the cinema genius, Quentin Tarantino. Which you put off for over a week.
Yep, I watched it about 20 minutes before this podcast started recording.
Yes. Which is usually what happens when one of us has to review something they really don't want to watch or we know is awful.
Yeah.
But I feel that you were either just lazy or too busy.
Yeah, both.
Bit of both.
Bit of both. I actually planned to watch it today, and then...
Forgot.
Yeah. I badly managed my time. I got all the things I wanted to get done for uni done. But then I went to watch the movie, and then you messaged me saying, "Oh, you can come over whenever." And I was like, "Fuck, I need to watch this movie." And then I opened it, and it's 2.5 hours long.
It's
and
long
it was
movie.
and it was 1 o'clock. I said I'd be here at 3. I was like, "Well, let's see
I
how we
just
go."
lied to Allan.
Yeah, pretty much. And you messaged me, and I contemplated saying that whether or not I was going to tell you if I'd watched it, because maybe I can just read the plot synopsis.
The blob.
The
The
blurb. And get away with that. And I started reading. I was like, I have to watch this because there's no way I can.
You can't fake your way
I
through
can't
this.
really fake my way through this. So 1994 was when it came out. By the way. I was
so
close. I was 10
decade
years
off.
Yeah, but I got the right last digit and the right 2 first digits.
You've only one off, numerically wise.
Numerically, yeah, which is pretty good. Yeah, so I watched Pulp Fiction. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
You enjoyed
It was
it?
pretty good. I enjoyed the dark humor in which the movie is like
I
saying.
really thought that you would enjoy it because you're a big fan of like the maudlin humor, like the dark humor.
Yeah, I love it. And the best part is about 10 minutes into the movie, all the references that are like world known, like the "say what again" thing.
Say what again, motherfucker.
Fucker, yeah. Like all that got taken.
Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese. All got taken care of in the first 10 minutes of the movie. I was like, well, I'm pretty much done. So I kept watching, and I got to the heroin scene where she like snorts the heroin and ODs and then
Needle through the chest.
Needle through the chest, which is my favorite scene of the movie. I'm gonna point out, like out of everything, I thought that was the funniest scene because they're like, I don't know what to do.
It's like you do it. No, you do it.
Yeah, it's really funny, and I enjoy that because this chick is like dying out, and like in every other movie, and I like the fact that it doesn't play to the standard conventions of movies, like when the black guy got hit by the car, which I'll get to in a minute. My reference to The Simpsons.
Yes. Police Chief Wiggum.
Yeah. I like how he gets hit by a car, and he's actually like seriously injured.
He's fucked. Yeah.
He's really injured. They never do that in movies. People get hit by a car, they roll over the top, they get back up, and then just like the next scene,
I better run away.
I'll run away. I got hit by a car, but he's like legitimately hurt, and I really appreciated that. But so I got to the end of the heroin overdose scene, and I was like, and then I think that scene takes place afterwards, like the Gold Watch segment or whatever it is.
For people again who haven't seen Pulp Fiction, it's not shown in chronological order.
No, it's like segments leading up.
It's like everything converges.
Yeah, into the diner scene, which was also really good to see Samuel Jackson not talk about snakes and stuff on planes.
This is like right at the beginning of his career, I think.
Yeah.
Probably not right at his really popular career.
Yeah, and then he was just terrible before and after this movie, I feel, because he's terrible in everything. But yeah, so I stopped about at that point because the guy got hit by the car, and I was like, what's this from? And then I was like, this is from 22 short films about Springfield, the episode, which is one of my favorite episodes of Springfield, of Simpsons, sorry. So I stopped and watched that instead for 30 minutes. So, or 22 and a half minutes, because that's how long it went for. So I watched that entire episode.
Come on!
And then,
did you even finish the movie?
I finished the movie, but I missed a large chunk of it, which I read about online.
So both you had them going at the same time?
Kind of, sort
Come
of.
on.
So I know I'm a bad person, but I have to tell you this. So I watched 22 short films about Springfield. It was so funny, the whole gum in my hair thing, and
we're not breaking out of this to talk about 22
but
short things
man,
and doing same
that's like the bulk of my review. But anyway, so I watched that, and then I went back to Pulp Fiction, and I was like, shit, I have to go to Allan's really, really soon, so I'm gonna like skip through bits and pieces. So I skipped through bits and pieces. I watched the scene with the bondage guy and Bruce Willis, and he breaks out, and that's really, I need to get like raped or something. And that was really, really good.
Are you
scene.
okay? Yeah, I'm pretty fucking far from okay.
Yeah, like that was really funny, but it's such a slow paced movie at the same time.
It is very slow paced.
That like I didn't feel like I missed too much content. Like,
did you like Quentin Tarantino's appearance in the
That
film.
pissed me off so much. My personal pet peeve, and I'm going to say this on your little podcast, is that I hate it when people that are like directly involved with the production of the movie are in the movie. It pisses me off. I hate every time Stan Lee shows up in a Marvel movie. It pisses me the fuck off. Because I'm like, you are too old to leave your house. Either die or just fuck off, because I don't want you anywhere near these movies. And
He's got nothing to do with the film, though.
No,
he's not
he
like a
doesn't.
director or anything.
But he's still involved in like his cameos are just all ego, and it shits me off.
It's
just like how
it's just fan service. That's all it is.
I don't like it.
All
I don't want it in my movies. And same with Tarantino. And I recognized him. I was like, is that Tarantino? Surely he's not in his own movie. I didn't want to spoil the rest of the movie.
He's in a few of his own movies, actually.
Maybe
He's not in every movie,
but
he
in
does
some
show
of
up in a
them.
few.
Okay. But I was like, I'll wait until the end of the credits, and I sat there and I watched the credits intently for his name, and he showed up, and I was like, fuck this movie. I'm so angry. Because I hate it when people are in there. But the last scene, when they're in the diner, and it all happens in the way that
Everything
Samuel Jackson,
ties together, yeah.
It all ties together, and the way that Sam Jackson talks the guy down,
He does
and
his
the
little
crazy
speech, yeah.
and it's awesome. It's so good. Like, his acting is on point, and everything kind of ties together really nicely. So I really actually enjoyed the movie, which I didn't think I would. So, and I actually knew absolutely nothing except for the "say what again, motherfucker" scene. Like, even the Royale with cheese thing, I didn't know that was from Pulp Fiction. I knew that was from The Simpsons because they're talking about McDonald's. But yeah, I had no idea that anything else. I didn't even know what the movie was
What's the
about.
Royale with cheese reference in The Simpsons?
It's
like, what do they call a Krusty Burger in
yeah,
Shelbyville or
no,
something?
in at McDonald's. Like, I went to McDonald's in a restaurant the other day, and like, McDonald's, what the hell is that? And oh, it's just this thing that popped up overnight. And like, they call it a quarter pounder with
in
cheese.
Capital City or something, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like, what do they call? Do they still have Krusty branded non-gelatinous something drinks? And like, yeah, they call them shakes. It's like, shakes. Oh, you don't even know what you're getting. And so yeah, that's the reference in there. And then Chief Wiggum, and they pop him out of the booth. Yeah, but no, yeah, I actually really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Do you feel like you're a richer person now for having seen it?
I feel like I get more references.
Which is what you're all about.
Which is, yeah, it's like the entirety of my life is references.
Which is really makes me surprised that you haven't seen more films.
Yeah, but I reference them because I've seen them in The Simpsons.
You fake your way through a lot of references.
Yeah, I do. And I most of my life has been people making references and me just laughing along with the crowd. Being like, yeah, say what again?
You have faked so many laughs around me then.
Yeah. Like, my whole life is just without laughter. It's all fake. So, but yeah, do I have to give it a rating?
You can, if you wish.
I will give it a rating. I will give it. Whoa, let me think. I'm going to give it 6.5 Krusty Burgers out of 10.
6.5.
Yeah.
Pretty low for this.
I have high expectations though.
You had no idea what it was about going into it.
Okay. Wait,
I'm not going to make you change
No.
rating.
I'm going to change it to 6.5 out of 8 because I feel like I missed 2 parts
You
of
missed
the movie.
You missed a 20-minute segment.
Yeah, 22.5 minutes of the movie.
22.5 minutes.
So I'll take off 2 points.
God, you're so ADD. It's
I know.
ridiculous.
I can't concentrate for that long.
All right, now.
Yep.
How busy are you in the next week?
Pretty busy.
Pretty busy.
I have an assignment next week.
Should we mix it up and you can give me something to watch?
Let's do that. That would make me really happy.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I feel like there's a lot that you should watch.
Well, yeah,
But
I'm sure
I
I will.
feel like you're too busy
I
to handle this.
It's the worst
It was
part.
a real stress point coming into the recording of the podcast, and I was like, Tim hasn't seen it. Tim hasn't watched it. He's not watched the movie.
Well,
He's going to get here and he's not going to watch the movie.
No, I made the effort, but I wish I hadn't been forced to watch it because I just didn't have the time. So if I can give you something to review, that would be tops. What are the restrictions on what to watch?
It has to be something that can be consumed, I suppose, which is a word that Russell hates me saying, but he's not here, so he can't stop me.
Good.
Within a week,
Yep.
reasonably. I can't have seen it,
Yep.
or played it, or read it, or whatever.
Okay.
And that's about it, really. Oh, it has to be, like, within reason. Like, it can't be, like, Mein Kampf, or something like that. You have no idea what Mein Kampf is. It's Hitler's book, yes.
Okay.
It's like a book.
Nailed it.
Pro-Nazi book, basically.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I don't want you reading that.
No.
Get any ideas.
I am white.
You are white, yeah. Well, I've got 2 and I don't know what to pick. Can I give you 2 and you can pick?
If you want, yeah.
Cool. So one of them
Just
is...
straight off the bat, too. You're just like, I got 2, right
I'm
here.
prepared.
Off the top of the...
Because
Yeah.
I mentioned one earlier. One of them is Madoka Magica, because I know that I want... Yeah, I've been wanting you to watch this for ages.
Yeah.
And the other one is Life is Strange, the video game, which will cost you $20.
Now, as far as our audience is aware, Madoka Magica would cost me money as well.
Yes. You can borrow my DVDs.
Do you actually have DVDs?
We have 2 copies of it.
Why do you have 2 copies?
'Cause-
One Blu-ray, one DVD.
No, because Cara and I didn't live together when it came out.
Okay.
So we bought 2 copies.
Alright. I will crumble against the mighty walls that I have set up against watching a little girl anime. Little girl anime makes me feel so uncomfortable. I'm a grown man.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Like, the same reason why I could never get into, like, whatever, Sailor Moon or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I was like, they're young teenage girls.
I really like Sailor Moon.
They're like young teenage girls learning about themselves and exploring their bodies.
Yeah.
I'm a 30-year-old man. This is weird.
Yeah, Sailor Moon's not that good anyway.
No, it's not.
No.
It's no Dragon Ball Z.
It's no Dragon Ball Z. That's right. So you're going with Madoka Magica?
Sure.
Hey! Alright, that's a shame because I really like Life is Strange as well. But that's okay. I'm happy with that.
I'm not forking out fucking $20 for a Force review.
Alright, fair enough. Alright, cool. Well, Madoka Magica, let me know what you think. Hopefully I'll be on next week's podcast.
Hopefully.
Probably.
Because I can't be asked figuring out who else to bring on, to be honest.
Can I bring more people with me?
Who on earth would you bring on?
Nah, it's for next week.
We'll see. We'll see. So, if you've enjoyed this, you can feel free to go to our website, which is popculturepon.weebly.com, which I will be putting up a blog post in regards to the things we have talked about today. You can email us at popculturepon@gmail.com. You can go to Reddit and go to our subreddit, in which all of this is sort of conglomerated into one place, which is r/popculturepon. You might be sensing a pattern here. You can go to our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/popculturepon, or our Twitter account, which is for the most part used just as a streaming service for like updates on what we've released. Because all of like whenever I release stuff onto YouTube or SoundCloud or whatever, it gets linked to there because it gets promoted on Twitter.
Yep.
So that's a good place to see an aggregate of all the stuff that gets given out, which is at popculturepon. We have a YouTube account, which is youtube.com/bunch of garbled nonsense.
Yep.
Because you can't get a URL until you've got many more subscribers than we have.
Yeah.
So just fucking search us on there, and that'll come up.
Yep.
And other than that, if you've enjoyed this podcast, you can feel free to come on back next week for another episode of Popculture Pontification.
Pop on back.
Pop on back.
Yeah.
There you go.
I got it. It's a thing.
It's becoming
100% with it.
It's going to trend.
Yeah.